Hey guys, I apologize. I didn't know who would be on. I'm just kind of making myself a bulletproof coffee for dinner actually, because I had such a late lunch that this is kind of all I'm craving. So anyway, I'm excited to have this conversation with you guys. I'm excited to talk with you about kind of like what's going wrong with marketing for women entrepreneurs. And this is something that has come up over and over again. I said that I was doing these free live streams because I actually just had reached out to my email list at large, right? Not Women Who Wow members, mostly not Women Who Wow members, right? And I just said, like, what's going on with your business and how are things going? And I got a lot of comments back, and I'm so grateful. I had hundreds of people respond, which is always humbling to me. And they were very, very open about what their challenges were. And so I want to talk really about just kind of what's going on and how marketing is getting so convoluted and difficult and complex, and how we can just streamline it and make a lot more money. So I'm going to go ahead and share this to my own Facebook page. And if you know women entrepreneurs who want to have a very simple process to make money in their business, right? Then please share this live stream with them. I am really big on being able to make sales or make money on demand when I need it, make money on schedule, like something that comes in routinely, and also make money on repeat. And I have systems for all of these things, right? So I don't like willy-nilly it. I have systems for all of these things, and that's what I want to share today with you guys. And I invite you, whether you're watching the replay or watching live, I really invite you to put your questions in or type your comments so that we can have a little bit more of a conversation. And so if you are here, or even if you're watching the replay, if you would just type in a comment like, what is your primary challenge right now with marketing? And I'll tell you, as I share this, I'll tell you, a lot of people felt like they weren't sure what's working or what's not. They feel like they need new ways to market. People were all over the place in terms of some people needed people at the beginning of the funnel, like just new people to sell to, and other people felt like they had a great huge list and but people weren't buying. So it's really kind of all over the place. And I am okay, good. So I've shared that, and I want to make sure that we are covering this in a really, really simplistic way. So one of the biggest challenges that I saw in these hundreds of responses is that people just they have a lot of things that they're doing. People who are attracted to my brand are not, they're not shying away from the work, right? Like, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're doing a lot of work. They're out there, they're marketing, they're blogging, they might be podcasting or whatever it is, but they're just not sure what they're counting on, right? And this is partly because of the industry I'm a part of, frankly, right? There's a lot of bright, shiny objects and a lot of different gurus and groups and business schools and plans and blueprints and all of that are teaching you various different ways to grow your business. And every time that you invest in one of these, they're all telling you like their way is the only way, and they spend like 30 of their first minutes on the webinar explaining like why everything else you've learned isn't working. And so it's not a surprise that there's so much confusion over what marketing should be and how to simplify it and what's really going to work. So I'm excited to do that today. But essentially, regardless of if you wrote in and said, this is my marketing problem or this is the problem in my business, regardless of whether you're saying, I just need a lot more people to market to, I need to have new people to market to, or maybe you're at the other end and saying, I've got a big list, but I can't convert them. It's not monetizing. I've got a really active Facebook group. Nobody wants to pay me. Like, it doesn't matter where you are on the spectrum, really, for this conversation. And we can definitely have a nuanced conversation later. But the commonality is that there's no simplicity, rhythm, and sophistication to what you're counting on to bring you money in your business, right? In other words, we do all the stuff to start a business, and we actually, put our shingle out, get the logo, get the website, do all that kind of stuff. And then we go to market, and we kind of hope for things to go well, right? Like, we kind of just hope for the best, and we hope that people see how great we are. Side note, if you're hoping that being amazing at what you do is going to help you make more money, you should know that being amazing at what you do is actually not a marketable advantage at all, right? Like, because in order to find out you're amazing at what you do or better than all the competitors, they first have to buy from you. So we've got to learn how to get their attention and then get their business so they can find out how amazing you are. But there's no simplicity, rhythm, or sophistication. And so when I ask people, like, what's wrong with your marketing, the truth is it's kind of like a little bit of a cobbled mess, right? And the thing with cobbled messes is they take a lot of energy and time and money sometimes to keep them up, right? Once you go into a cobbled mess environment, like, it's very difficult to start to dismantle it so you can identify the gems, right? You got to identify what's working. And I understand, because I've totally been there in a spot where you know that you're doing a lot of stuff that's not working, but you're not in a position to let go of something, right? Because you want the money to keep coming in. And so it's very, like, I understand being in that position, but we are going to walk through that today, exactly like the questions you need to ask and what you need to be looking at in order to figure out your own cobbled mess of marketing. And so the first thing I want to say is, like, everybody starts with a cobbled mess of marketing, right? Like, when you start your business, like, you throw spaghetti at the wall and you figure out what works, and sometimes you don't even take the time to know what works because you're just hustling so hard. Like, I totally get it. And those are, like, I actually call them spaghetti days, and they're fun, and they get your blood pumping, right? Like, they're pretty amazing days. But as your business grows, or as you get either more needy for money or more intent on making money, it does behoove you to figure out, like, what's working so we can drop all the rest and we can have a life as well as be able to make a living. So when you are dismantling this cobbled mess of marketing, like, the first question, and I don't want to veer on the side of oversimplifying, but this industry is overcomplicated stuff for so long. I feel like it's an error I'm willing to take. So the first thing is, where are you hoping to be found, right? So, like, when I ask you things like what marketing plan or what's your marketing strategy that you're hoping, like, if you tell me it's not working, I'm going to ask you, what strategy are you employing now, right? And if it's a cobbled mess, like, you're going to have a hard time answering that. And so let's just start with, where do you want to be found, right? So, like, physically, if you had a brick and mortar shop, you'd say on Main Street, on the 4th block of Main Street, right? But if you have an online business, or if you are marketing online even for a brick and mortar business, where do you hope to be found, right? Is it in your local advertorial, like the Shopper in my area? Or do you want to be found on Facebook or on Instagram? Do you want to be found on different stages whenever those come back? Although I am traveling right now, I'm going to an event, and I was participating in one today, so they're coming back. But so where do you want to be found, right? That's where everything starts in terms of the marketing engine, right? Like, we know where our home is. Our home is where we get paid, right, in our business. And so if you imagine, like, your little home is, I'll just use this little thing as like an example. So your little home is here, and all surrounding it is forest, right? Like a deep, deep forest, okay? And your job in marketing is to go out to the main road and carve a path, and multiple paths to your door, right? So all of this is forest, and it's your job as the homeowner, as the business owner, to carve multiple paths to your door so that people find you in different areas. So my first question to you, if we're really simplifying the marketing, and if you are thinking your marketing's not working or not working well enough or not working fast enough, then you need to do this with me. So where do you want to be found? Where are you hoping that people on the main road are going to find you? And so those are the different avenues that you're going to put energy in whatever form, like time, hustle, money, whatever, right? So where do you want to be found? And then when you are out there on Main Street, in this little analogy, right, like whether you're online or off, but you're out here where all the people are, whether that's Facebook or Instagram or Amazon or whatever, right? So when you're out there, once you've identified where you're going to go and hope to be seen, it's what do you want them to follow you back to the door for, right? So like, what sign are you putting out there? Are you putting out a sign like free lemonade or free advice? Or are you saying like, I can help you with your email overwhelm? What are you saying, right? We have to have sort of a opt-in offer. We kind of have to know what our freebie little thing is. In other words, why would they follow you online or off? Why would they follow you back to your door? Like, what are you promising them, right? These are often referred to as opt-in offers or something like that. But why are they following you back there? What do you promise them? What do they get? And it can be as simple as, like, I tell people, people say something about, like, where can I find you? And I say, I provide daily resources for women entrepreneurs on our Facebook page, right? It's just a simple promise. In other words, if you leave Main Street and follow me, I've got daily resources for you, made custom for you every single day. And so you want to know like where you're going to be found, where you're going to invest energy in being seen and heard, etc. And then what are you promising them in order for them to follow you, right? Either join your email list or come back to your page or whatever. And then here's the thing, it's like, and we can call this a number of things. We can call it a funnel, we can call it an indoctrination series, we can call it just sales conversations. I don't care what you call it. But the next question is, how are you going to walk this prospect across the bridge from interested prospect to committed client, patient, customer, right? And we often don't consider this, and it is to our disadvantage, right? So if you think about, there's two lands, right? So one land is a land of interest, and we all have plenty of people on the land of interest, right? They're the ones who applaud you. They're the ones who like cheer you on. They're like the atta girls, like you go, that's a great idea, blah, 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 right? And so they're in the interested land. But the problem with being in the land of the interested is interested parties don't pay, right? They don't pay you money. They don't buy. They're like a loud mob, right? They're just like cheering you on. They don't pay your bills. And so in order to make selling happen, you need to walk with them over the bridge. There's an abyss between interested, where they just think it's a good idea, and committed, where they pay cash, right? And side note, if you do a lot of networking, or if you used to do a lot of networking, that's what you found at those coffee dates, right? A lot of you are like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And you're constantly, getting all this amazing feedback, and you're wondering why people love, 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 love it, and love, love, love you, and they're not buying, right? It's because we are doing all of we're not getting deliberate about walking with them, taking that journey over the bridge between interested and committed, right? And so only you know what would be the best way to walk them across that bridge. And so the question I always ask women who wow members is, what do they need to know, believe, what do they need to accept and believe as true in order to cheerfully buy from you, right? This is a conversation. This is the indoctrination series, or a funnel, or even a sales conversation, a sales presentation if you're doing them in hotel rooms or whatever, right? So like, what do they need to accept and believe is true in order to cheerfully do business with you, right? That's the conversation you're having, walking them across this proverbial bridge. And sometimes this conversation doesn't even happen in a funnel. It happens through routine exposure to your free content, right? Whatever it is, but you do have to get them out of the land of the interested. And a lot of times the best way to do this is to share with them, and not so much in a way like I would never do this in a sales conversation. I don't really have sales conversations anymore per se, but I would have never done it anyway. It's like, what would have happened if you don't, what would happen if you don't make a change? Like, I don't really say that, but sometimes, you know, you can do that in content. I do that a lot in content, right? So I show them two sides. I show them the side that they're on. I want them to see, I understand you. I know your challenges. I have been there. I can help you, right? I know how it feels. I know the shame. I know the frustration. I know how it affects how you feel about yourself. I know the irritation and the anxiety that comes with like money problems, right? So I definitely will share that. And I also share it doesn't have to be this way, right? On the other side of the bridge, on the other side, like when you join Women Who Wow, we will begin working on X, Y, and Z, right? And so it's a conversation that you have with them. So we talked about where do you want to be found? It can't be necessarily everywhere, although I do have a team now, so I think sometimes it looks like I'm everywhere. My primary focus is on Facebook, right? Like that's just that I like Facebook better. I keep promising myself to do better about being on LinkedIn. It just doesn't really inspire me, so I think somebody else is going to do that for me. But, you know, where do you want to be found? Where do you want to be seen and heard? And then what do you want them to follow you back to your little home? Where do you want to, you know, them to follow you back for? What are you promising them? What's on the other side of joining your email list or coming to your Facebook page or whatever? How do you walk them once they're there? How do you walk with them across that proverbial bridge between the land of the atta girl, the land of the interested, and the land of the cha-ching, which is the land of the committed? And then the last kind of part of the marketing, I guess, sequence is how do you increase longevity and referrals? And all of these things I have systems for. All of these things. And so, you know, for Women Who Wow members, if you're already a member, you might want to go and get that 7 systems training. I did, it's probably been 18 months ago now, but it's still the same, right? And I have systems for this. But when I was hearing from all of these people struggling with their marketing, it struck me how unrhythmic and unsystematic their marketing is. And so you can still make money cobbling together marketing efforts, right? Just throwing money at the wall. I certainly made money that way, but you don't make money that is dependable that way, right? Like if you don't get systems to how you market, if you don't put some thought to it and start to like just have some evergreen kind of marketing strategies, if you don't have that, then your money will always feel insecure, right? Like you're always going to be wondering because you're kind of making it up every single month, right? You're making up what you're doing every single month. And so I really invite you to give more careful consideration of that. If I can help you, definitely message me m.me/Women Who Wow. And if you have not joined or looked at the Cash Creation Code, it's my most affordable program. It's going to take us through a lot of this. It's going to make you a lot of money in the month of August, and I'm really excited about it. So you can go to bmichellepippin.com/Cash Creation Code, or you can just message me m.me/Women Who Wow, and I'm happy to answer your questions about that. And I'll be back again tomorrow, so if you have specific marketing or selling questions, I do have a few more that I'm definitely going to cover. I'm trying to kind of put them into buckets, right? So I get to everybody, but if you have something specific, just message me, and I will try to get to your question in another live stream. And I can't really give like times of when I'm coming live just because I'm traveling and I've got my schedule's kind of up in the air. So anyway, but I will be here and the replay is always going to be available. So I appreciate you guys being with me. I appreciate y'all watching the replay. Everyone who sent me messages about Cash Creation Code, I definitely will get back to you about that. I haven't done it yet, but just because I've been traveling. And any questions you send me about Women Who Wow membership or about your business and what questions you want me to answer on this little live stream series I'm doing, put them in, and I will definitely be checking those out and incorporating them into other live trainings. So I appreciate you guys. Keep hustling, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.